Ironsquid. Now we just saw the semi-final of MMA versus Alive, and MMA managed to win 3-2, so he made it to the finals. And now we are up for the second semi-final. It's gonna be Nestea versus Symbol. So it will start very soon. And I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions at all after the game of Symbol versus Nestea, I will do a winner interview, which I did with MMA before. So if you have any question, just write me on my Twitter. And obviously a big shout out to our sponsors like Astro Gaming, Asus, Numeric Cable, Material Net, Twitch TV, and Envio, who is taking care of all the technical stuff here.
Though I'm very excited for Zerg vs Zerg, then they can have another concert afterwards.
And this Zerg vs Zerg as well. Like, these are my two favorite Korean Zergs right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Nestea is a 3 times GSL winner, of course, and Symbol's an uppercomer from the team that has gone from nothing to rising up to be one of the best teams, which is, of course, TSL.
They've struggled so hard, and it's so great to see Symbol here. Obviously, this is his first major event.
Yeah, this is his first major event. He's a struggling player within the GSL, of course, and has risen and risen. He's currently sitting on the same level within GSL as everybody else, Code A, round of 32.
Yep.
But he's come from the bottom compared to coming from the top, which is where everyone else has come. He qualified on an online qualifier for this tournament, and then after that, he managed to scrape through the group stages, won 3-0 against Marine King Prime in the quarterfinals, and is now alive in Paris.
It's amazing, really, when you think about it. That series with Marine King Prime was quite something. It was thoroughly well thought out. It was obviously extremely well planned. And you could say, well, he didn't play straight up against Marine King Prime. Marine King Prime doesn't play straight up. You know, he's greedy, super greedy. How many times did we see 3CC from the very start? He played really greedy, and he got punished for it hard. Symbol had exactly the right style there.
And 10 years between these guys. That's crazy. Well, 9 years. It's almost 10. 9 years between these two guys. It's like father and son. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. Look at Nestea. Nestea on stage is like 2 times the size of Symbol. Symbol looks outside of StarCraft like he's just going to roll over and give the free win. But inside, it's going to be a very, very different scenario.
I think so, certainly. This is a matchup that Nestea, as far as I'm concerned, has named after himself. He doesn't play ZvZ, he plays ZvN. Zerg versus Nestea. It's so different. It really is. But
yeah, he understands the matchup so well.
Yeah, he does. Alright, let's watch Symbol in action right here on this video, because it's quite something, especially against Evil Genius's Idra.
C'est parti. On dit que les joueurs
Well, that was a nice little excerpt showing you some of Symbol's ZvZ. Now, I'm trying to think, did he do more than one ZvZ in this tournament?
In this, Symbol or
Symbol,
Nestea, sorry?
Symbol.
Symbol? I don't think so. Oh no, actually, I don't think he did. It was just the win against Idra, and then it was other matchups aside from that. But it looks like we're ready to load into the game. Of course, LG, I am Nestea, going up against TSL Symbol, clear underdog, versus Hero Story coming up.
It really is, isn't it? Nestea's win ratio in this matchup is absolutely unbelievable. It really is. Nurcio came close to beating him, but not close enough. He took a convincing win, but then ended up falling behind, unfortunately. He was really, really close to it. Here's the thing, right? I reckon Symbol has, without question, been training for this matchup. There's no doubt about it. And he's probably been training with his teammate Shine, in fact, who he actually beat in the qualifier, in a ZvZ, the grand finals of Ironsquid Qualifier 1.
Yeah, not only Shine, he has his new teammate Hyun, who understands was a former Brood War pro as well, most recently joining TSL, who has a great Zerg vs Zerg, understands the aggressive natures. It plays very similar to StarCraft 1, of course, but Nestea was a coach in StarCraft 1. He doesn't care about small, simple things like that. And we'll have to see how this game, of course, on Daybreak will play out. A more passive, bigger, larger map between rush distances between these two guys.
Nestea knows. He always knows. He knows this matchup inside and out, and it's my pleasure to bring you LG. I am Nestea. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northeast of the Daybreak. Versus his opponent, it is TSL Symbol in the blue trunks, playing Zerg to the southwest.
And Symbol had has shown us throughout his Zerg vs Zerg with the qualifiers for Ironsquid to the actual tournament against Idra. He's shown aggression, he's shown control, and he's also shown the ability to be able to micro and macro, and I stress the word macro, to the best of anybody. He went toe-to-toe with Idra in a straight-up 200 supply versus 200 supply war, and ended up the winner through some special tactics of his own. And already we see Nestea and himself deciding to go hatchery first here. It's very rare you'd see any aggressive plays on this match, and if you do, on this map, sorry, it's a clear anti-build to a hatchery first here. Hatchery first is the build to use on Daybreak. It's so big, aggressive play does not reward on a map this big.
Indeed. Symbol with the spawning pool slightly earlier than his opponent. Also got the hatch down very slightly earlier than his opponent. Not that that makes any real difference considering the distance here, in fact. Any difference considering the difference. Well done. Here's the thing, right? Symbol is curious in ZvZ because he uses almost everything the Zerg have to offer. As we saw in the series against Idra, which was a long ZvZ, he employed a lot of different tactics. Not to mention, in other matchups, he's also used things that a lot of Zerg choose not to do. Nestea, on the other hand, seems like he's prepared for everything in this matchup.
Yeah, Nestea understands the matchup better than anybody, I think. And we actually see gasless from both of these guys here. So we're actually going to have a 4-queen build. 4-queen build, considering they both don't know if they've taken gases or not. And we don't even see links being made as the spawning pool completes. There's no need. Why would you build 2 lings when you can build a set of drones? 2 lings won't really do anything for you here. 2 links, sorry. So we'll probably see a spine crawlers coming down from both of these players shortly as well. But late gas. And this tells us that, of course, no early aggression will lead into the mid stages, which most likely, understanding the circumstances right now, may be a straight tech up to layer as soon as they start the gas and after speed.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm liking that idea because that opens up all sorts of things. The other problem, of course, is that it just ends up being Roach, Speed Roach and Infester, which is not especially interesting to watch. But I expect something interesting coming out from Symbol, honestly. I don't think he wants to play straight up against Nestea because I don't think anyone's confident playing straight up against Nestea. Not in this matchup. Maybe Demarga, I guess.
Demarga's pretty good too. We do have spine crawlers coming down for both of these players. Nestea taking all 4, well, I mean, 2 guesses on the natural, sorry, but it looks like he may have taken all 4 already. So this is a bit of a mind game, but does absolutely nothing really to Nestea. So great decisions already by Nestea. Symbol only with 1 gas, which means he's not going to tech up too fast because he obviously needs to get speed, and he may actually opt to get an earlier 3rd base here, which has been coming into play a lot more within Zerg vs Zerg recently.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of dealing with things and gives you just such an edge economically. And now this is a nice little maneuver here. Symbol pushing out with 2 queens here, using the Overlord to spot the other Overlord, which was hidden in this spot over here. And since he does have 4 queens, he can kind of afford to do this. This is not really hurting him in any way. Queens will catch an Overlord, of course. It just takes quite a while for that to happen. And we've got Baneling Nest coming down for Nestea right now.
Yeah, Nestea's building more of a defensive Baneling Nest than anything, I feel here. He does start his lair and will begin the trek to the Muleless path most likely here. On the other hand, Symbol has now just taken double gases, and there's the third base already. Unfortunately, Nestea has no scanning information about that. The Overlord on the left-hand side is a bit out of position to see this, and if this goes undetected for, you know, the next couple of minutes here, he's going to have a clear advantage because he's going to tech up the same as Nestea is, a little bit slower, but that doesn't matter because of the rush distances between bases here, and he will have this third base, you know, extra production available from the hatchery, extra set of gas, and he already has creep spread leaning towards that third base already.
It's looking nice start here for Symbol, and he really does need that, honestly, against a player of the caliber of Nestea. Exceptional creep spread. No real doubt about that. Since he does have 4 queens, it's hardly a problem for him. Interesting to see Nestea actually only pick up 3, and that slows him down just a little bit. Overlord in a nice position here for Symbol as well to spot the third, which is something that Nestea doesn't have. He will spot the creep spread quite shortly as it spreads towards the edge of the cliff here, which will give him the indication that he needs, and there's nothing stopping him really just popping in there and checking that out. And we've got quite a few Lings coming out here. We've got barely any army for Symbol, but he has got 4 defensive Banelings on the way, so any kind of Ling attack from Nestea would have to be very precise, otherwise it will be eliminated.
And the key thing here is Symbol has the scanning information compared to Nestea that doesn't, but Nestea does see the creep. He can probably guess that that third base is down. And Symbol can easily use Ling Bailing to defend his third base. Symbol clearly taking the defensive foot here, who's actually going Roach Infestor here, and will want to defend, of course, against the Spire play, which was cancelled already by Nestea. Nestea's seeing the potential of that third base already, knows that it's most likely not going to be Spire play, and knows that it's probably just going to be Roach Infestor, and he doesn't want to go against that with, actually no, the Spire is still up, sorry, what am I on about? But he doesn't really want to stay into Mules for too long.
Nestea gets a bit of a run by onto the third base here, and putting a lot of pressure as well. That is a huge amount of pressure. Banelings are nowhere near that, and it looks like the third base is going to go down here, which will be a great start for Nestea. Detonations go off with the Banelings, but it's not enough. And a beautiful run by Nestea.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy from Symbol there, though. He shouldn't really have lost that, but Nestea claims that. And the reason why I thought the Spire was actually being cancelled, because it's not on the map. It's actually south here, proxied. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but an Overlord spreading the Spire is down there. That's what I was looking around saying, God, he cancelled the Spire, and then I looked and saw, no, it just wasn't in the base here. And 11 Mutalists are on the way here, and if he manages to get his own third base, which he's taking now, and keep it established and keep it safe, then he's obviously going to take a humongous lead in this game.
Oh, nice round right there. Nails down the Queen, and Nestea continuing with that aggression. He's got to look to force a cancel here, which, oh, it doesn't even get a cancel. Dear Lord, Symbol slipping up early on against Nestea, which is not helping, in this ridiculous mind game from Nestea with the proxy, and in come the Mutas, and we do have an Evolution Chamber up and Spore Crawlers on the way, but Nestea can take this opportunity to do some serious damage. There are Infestors coming in on the way as well. He does have Pathogen Glands available, so he can fungal these guys, but they're still doing damage already. Before the Infestors even come out, one gets picked off, and the second fungal to follow that one up. Queen support coming in. A great catch here by Symbol.
And just as important, he's actually going to kill the third base of Nestea without a cancel on the right-hand side there. So awesome moves there by Symbol, nullifying the advantage of Mulus and then killing the third base at the same time. So level playing field once again here. He's even going to get double queens. This is absolutely amazing for Symbol.
Yeah, this is great. He was looking in a really, really bad spot. Those Infestors pop out at just the right time. The advantage of those Mutas has been essentially nullified, and Symbol now goes for full-on Roach Infestor. And when it comes down to just simple ground firepower, it's a massive edge for Symbol in this matchup.
And he knows, Nestea knows that he can't stay on Meatless, so that's why the Infestation put down. He's already starting to switch over now.
Yeah.
But he needs to try to do a little bit more damage here. And he's got Ling Mutas against Infestor Roach, and in small numbers is the key here. Small numbers of Ling and Mulus are absolutely terrible against the tech switch away from his initial plan. He's behind in upgrades and Pathogen Glands, Infestors, you name it, he's behind in it. +2 is on the way now for Symbol, and he will want to push this advantage once that third base is established.
Oh yes, we're already seeing some excellent ZvZ out of these guys, and so already game 1, good lord. Symbol looking for the interception right now as the harassment comes in. This control does give Nestea the ability to get rid of the Overlords and deny scouting information and vision for Symbol, but he can't get in too close. If he gets snagged by those Infestors, that's a lot of gas that disappears, and he needs to try and keep Symbol on the back foot at the moment.
And both of these guys won't really do anything now. They've both got their third base up. They're both droning towards it, and we want to get gas there immediately. But so far in this horse race, we do see a lead for Symbol, who throws down a Nidus Worm here. And he's saying, screw it. I know I'm immobile with Infestors at the moment. I can't really get across to kill you because you can counterattack with Mules. I'm just going to plant this right around in your main base. And where's the Overseer? Where's the Overlord he's going to use, though? That's the key
That's the
here.
question. That's the problem.
Pull this off.
Yeah, because the Mutas have denied all of those, so this is going to be difficult. He's putting down a Hydralisk then. Going for Roach Hydra. Could just go for a frontal assault with Hydralisk with this, although the Nidus network is maybe a little bit early. I'm interested to see what he's going to do. There is an Overseer now for Symbol. Don't believe he's got speed. No, he doesn't. That's something he could do with actually researching, but now he's going to push forward. And what he may do is use this to attack the front and then Nidus directly into the main base. There are already Mutalisks just hanging around that area, though.
It's not going to work, so the Mutalisks are there, and they're going to spot the Overseer, and we'll pick it off immediately. Though the key thing here is that Symbol's plan wasn't revealed. It's only an Overseer. It doesn't make too much difference here. And I love the choice to do this, considering that there's Infestors, there's Spine Crawlers everywhere. Nestea is on the back foot. If Symbol decides to go for a straight-up fight here, he has to go up a ramp. He's going to walk into Fungals. So he tried to neglect them there, but he's going to use Changelings in the center of the map, potentially, to try and get in there. But he's looking for an angle to use this weapon of his, which currently isn't loaded. There's nothing in there yet.
No, but there are Hydralisks popping out. That's the thing. Where will he use this? Will he use this as a frontal reinforcement point, as we've seen with Hydralisk before, to negate that lack of speed? And immediately those two Changelings picked off. He could put the Nidus down. Oh, there he goes. Goes for the interception. Going for the Nidus wouldn't have made a lot of sense anyway, I guess, because it would have been picked off very quickly. Quick run by here, or indeed flyby, by Nestea, looking to try and deny the space. He won't be able to do that. The Infestors should be able to shut that down without too much of a problem. Economy-wise, very, very even, honestly. But if this fourth gets up for Symbol, then he's going to be in such a stellar spot.
Yeah, I mean, Nestea's fourth, only just the second going down, and even though we couldn't find an opening with the Nidus network, it doesn't really make too much difference. He was still in the lead anyway. He didn't need to do that. It was just a different option compared to actually going for a straight-up attack here. And he's fine. We're just sitting back and, you know, setting up this fourth base now, which immediately is going to be saturated, especially the gas. And he's even building a fifth hatch now. And I love that he's made the switch over and the ratio heavily favoring Hydras rather than Roaches. Hydras are the damage dealers here, especially once these Roaches start to get their armor upgrades, which they're researching.
That's very true. It also gives him a serious range advantage as well, and that will serve him particularly well. Nestea now just moving to defend this fourth base, make sure no kind of run-bys or harassment come in. I like the decision to go Ventral Sacs. Once again, Symbol is this guy that uses everything in the Zerg arsenal, even in ZvZ, which is a matchup which, generally speaking, doesn't involve that. There are certain units you just don't build. Symbol does. Now going for this push here, army supply, very, very even. Nestea with a slight disadvantage, especially with those Mutalisks taking up supply, not doing a huge amount of damage there one way or the other. Symbol looking for a way in, not moving out any Overlords or anything like that, so not seeing a Ventral Sac drop from him just yet, but
he will now.
Here he is.
To meet up with his army, and he's going to drop the main base here, going to circumvent the front area. He realizes spines, Infestors are everywhere, he can't go in, and there's no scouting up here by Nestea yet, and this could do so much damage if he spreads out well inside that main base.
Oh, he's putting a Nidus down as well, actually. Where is the
south side to go to the fourth base here too? So
very
multi-pronged Harak, but I think that Nestea knows that it's going to be down there. He already sees
a trap.
Roach, so
it's a trap. It's drawing him out of position. The Symbol can just drop directly into the main base from here.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen here. Ling and Roach and Nidus weren't down the bottom, and there his Overlords all loaded up. Nestea completely out of position, has no idea about this. The Hive, Infestation Pit, Roach War, and Evolution Chambers will all go down.
This is ridiculous play right here. Nestea, I think, has now finally figured out what's going on, but it's not quick enough because the entire army of Symbol is now falling on top of Nestea's main base. The hatch, wow, the Hive could go down here. We've got the macro hatch going down. Looks like Nestea's actually just going to go for a straight-up trade here because he realizes, how the hell am I going to deal with an army this size? I don't think there is a way to do that. Nestea now supply block, can't bring in any more reinforcements, building a Symbol's building 17 spine crawlers to try and resist this attack which is coming in. Nestea going for the trade, attacks the natural expansion. Symbol smashes his way through the main. This is interesting. This is really interesting.
Yeah, basically, Nestea said, God, I can't get in my main base anymore. Because as soon as he tries, he gets fungal growth, he gets chain locked on the ramp, and he's all clumped up. So he knows, okay, I have to go for a counterattack. And now he's bringing back some units, some infestors to actually hold off and try to defend his own third base, which he's spined up to. And both these guys camping an individual hatchery to try to stay in the game the longest here. If a fight does happen and they go head-to-head, Symbol has better upgrades, and he also has the higher army value.
Yes, he does. He also has a lot of maneuverability as well. He still has the ability to drop. He can move around quicker than his opponent. His Nidus network is gone, of course, and his main is getting gutted without question. Symbol also saving a few roaches here. Really, really smart move. Just everything he can get at this point makes the difference. Army supply...
Nestea's going to attack in the main. He's got borrowed roaches in there too with Hydras. He can actually kill Nestea's army.
Oh, wow, he gets the surround on it. Really, really nice play there by Symbol. Once again, a trap. The Hydras shred their way through the roach count. It's massive, it's huge. Symbol eliminates it, and now crashing down on the 4th base.
Yeah, and this is just a killing strike there by Symbol. Great move in the main base, and he still has, you know, 130 army supply, and I don't think Nestea can recover from this. He can sit in a defensive posture all day long, but it doesn't matter. Symbol's teching back up. He's going back to lay. He still has 2-3 hatcheries in the game.
This is awesome play here by Symbol. Obviously, incredibly well thought out. Not his strongest matchup by any stretch. That would be Zerg versus Terran, but it is really showing here that he is prepared so well for this matchup. Nestea caught off guard by, once again, unorthodox tactics. The exact kind of thing that we expect to see from Symbol. And Symbol now looking for the interception on the remainder of Nestea's army to trap it, to eliminate it right now. Fungal lands on Symbol's roaches, but the Hydra's coming in as well. Lots of fungals here from Nestea, doing a lot of damage to those Hydras, but look at the numbers right here as Symbol goes in, crushes that army completely. Nestea with so little left to hold this.
Yeah, Nestea's just stuck on his one base, the 3rd base location, trying to expand to the north now, but he's not going to leave this base. He can sit on that base all day long. I don't think Symbol gives a crap, to be honest, because he's expanding all over the place. He'll just get his infrastructure back on. Even though he lost a lot of drones, he's got 1,800 minerals in the bank. That's a lot. He's going to be able to saturate bases immediately, and then just basically tech all the way up to Hive. I would not be surprised, and just go for a killing army, broodlords, and so on.
The
and
weakness.
there's absolutely nothing that Symbol can do.
4 Infestor hit squad coming in right here, and Nestea's got to catch this. He's got to catch it. The fungal's going off. Oh! Symbol hits the fungal on absolutely everything. All the infestors, every drone destroyed completely. An excellent drop, ripping Nestea's remaining economy to shreds. Nestea has got nothing now other than a forest of spine crawlers and nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's pretty sick play there by Symbol, and absolutely stellar play. And he's in a commanding lead. 180 supply versus 80, that's it. And there's still Mulus running around the map or flying around, trying to do bits of damage here and there, but there's no-go areas here.
There really isn't. We've got a Gambit here from Nestea. He's going to go Tunneling Claw and Burrow to try and do some covert ops for that. He does have this air control, but all it really takes to shut that down is for Symbol just to dump a bunch of Spore Crawlers, which he can afford. He's got the numbers and he's got the drone count. He builds around 13 more drones. Nestea's economy is in absolute shambles at this stage. Symbol's army much, much larger. The problem is, of course, attacking into this wall of spine crawlers. It doesn't matter how large your army is. In this compressed space, those spine crawlers are going to be very efficient when dealing damage.
Yeah, more so the fungal growth. Like, he's got so much energy where he could chain an entire army to death. So, Symbol just looking for weaknesses, and of course a weakness is up that ramp. He has to get rid of the debris because fungal will land, and one does land, and that basically tells Symbol that's almost a no-go area, and he actually plants infested Terrans to break down the wall here instead.
Really smart. You know what I love about that is the fact that Symbol only sent a small group of roaches up the ramp because he knew about the risk of fungal. And as a result, he's able to get a commanding win in that fight as well. Symbol 152 supply, Nestea only on 58. What can Nestea do from this position? Essentially nothing whatsoever. Oh, and here comes an Infestor. Nails down a couple more drones as well. The natural destroyed. Symbol rolling over Nestea at this stage.
And he is indeed. There are Mutilis in the top left, though, that killed a lot of drones there while that was going on. Nestea does manage to do damage. He did escape with a few drones, but he is going to pick up this hatchery here, and we do see Infestors coming, and once those Mutilis get locked, Infested Terrans will follow, and that flock will die.
Yes, it will, and there are the Fungals. They hit pretty much everyone. A single lone Mutalisk escapes. That's the obliteration there, but there's so many Spore Crawlers now deployed. There's no way, and there's the GG, and the first win of the day goes to Symbol. What an astonishing start.
Yeah, Symbol comes with all guns firing for this
yeah.
semi-final, and even though looked upon as the underdog, I think that in Group A, Group B, or something that I said, if Symbol's to get through the group stages, he could win the entire thing here. And as weird as that quote sounds now, it's becoming true, and he's currently leading against Nestea, and it's a shock that everybody's seeing this. Nestea is fantastic in Zerg versus Zerg, but Symbol played a great game.
He did. That was magical, honestly. It really was. An excellent example of ZvZ. Nestea played really well, but Symbol throws in curveballs. That's what I love about him. That's why, to me, he's the most exciting Zerg in Korea at the moment. Certainly the most exciting up-and-comer. He's got all sorts of ideas about how to play this matchup. Not to mention other matchups as well. He plays ZvT in a really interesting way, too. He uses everything Zerg has at its disposal. And look at the decision-making that we saw there. Using the Roach burrow. Burrowing the Roaches in his main base, waiting for the time when his Hydralisk would pop out and he could sandwich that army and destroy it. Saying, no, I don't want a base trade, even though he could still win one anyway. I want to crush that army and I want dominance of this map.
Yeah, and I really believe, though, that even though Nestea currently is behind, Nestea isn't a player that's going to just fall over and say, all right, take the win. Nestea will fight back here, and he's shown it time and time. He finished 3rd place at IPL 4, and even though he looked a little bit, out of shape, he, in the games, almost outclassed every single player there. And I'm sure we're about to see the same. The next map is going to be on Belshire Beach, and both of these guys are ready.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. I love an underdog story, man. I really do. But I also love it when Nestea gets angry, because I tell you, you would love him when he's angry. Seriously. He plays so very well. You take a map from Nestea, Nestea goes Super Saiyan. It's wonderful to behold. Let's see what he can do. All right, the countdown has now begun. Belshire Beach Winter Edition will be the place where we shall see some fantastic ZvZ action coming in right here from the Ironsquid Grand Finals.
Belshire Beach.
Great venue. Always, always awesome. Some amazing battles on this matchup. Here we go. TSL Symbol in the blue trunks with a shocking first map win. He is playing Zerg to the east of Belshire Beach Winter versus his opponent. It is I Am Nestea. He is in the red trunks and he is playing Zerg to the west.
Key things to note here is we'll probably see a Ling Baneling style this game early on. As there's no ramp, it's very difficult to actually hold on against anybody that plays aggressive against you. So any form of 13 or 14 extractor, 13, 14 spawning pool will most likely be the options here that these guys choose. If they do go hatchery first, if they go anything else, then they could be in a lot of trouble here. As of course, the guy that gets speed out first, the guy that gets Baneling out first is going to be the aggressor, and it is more difficult to defend if you don't have the same on an equal timing upgrades.
Very, very true. And this matchup in the first few minutes has always been about little things. It's about small differences in timing, which changes the entire way the match flows for the very reason that you just gave here. Nestea actually going for a really early extractor.
Yeah, 12 extractor and 11 spawning pool. Pretty damn fast for speed, Ling. And of course the Banelings, though. Symbol currently at 15 supply. Is he going to go hatch first here? Because if he does, he is going to be in trouble against Nestea. No doubt Nestea is going to pile on the pressure, and yes, he is going to hatch first here. He's taking that risk. I mean, I didn't think it would be a risk worth taking on this map, but he is going to do it. He will have to follow this up with an immediate spawning pool. He's going to build a drone, isn't he? He builds another drone, so 15 drone. So it will be like a 15 spawning pool, 15 extractor, but Nestea's going to come firing out of this game.
You know, this reminds me, this was actually an exact same scenario that we saw in the final game of Shine versus Symbol. It was on this map, it was in these positions, it was the same build, if I recall correctly, that early pool. Now, Symbol actually held that. He went hatch first, he held it against all odds, but can he do it against Nestea?
I don't think so. He's only just now taking gas. He will, of course, have a lot of minerals for slow Lings, but Nestea's not even taking off gas. He's going straight for a Baneling nest here. He's going straight for the fastest Ling, Baneling, speed, bust, whatever you want to call it, right into Symbol's natural and main area. And Symbol just doesn't have the necessary equipment to deal with this. He doesn't have a spine crow already built. He's got no idea. He now sees his opponent hasn't expanded. He can start to guess that's what's going on. He may actually skip speed here and get a Baneling nest with the first 50 gas that he gets to try and defend with slow Lings and just Banelings. But We'll see. He's going to throw down a defensive spine crawl on his main base, maybe a Bailey Nest next, but it's going to be tough no matter what.
If he holds it, it'll be a miracle, but again, we have seen it before, though I wouldn't say that Shine is on the level of Nestea in this matchup. Nobody is on the level of Nestea in this matchup. There you go. That's exactly what he's going to do. He puts the Baneling Nest down. The correct decision certainly should allow him to get Banelings out. I don't know. Nestea may be able to get a round of Banelings into the base before there are any other defensive Banelings available to nullify them. That's what concerns me here.
Nestea's moving an overload up in between the natural and main. Oh, it doesn't move it quite far enough to see the spine crawlers made, and if he did, he just wouldn't build Banelings. He just crushed through with 20 speedlings and surround everything. One thing is for certain, holding this natural for Symbol is going to be so difficult here, and Nestea now going to spot what he's up against. He sees the spine crawler moving, he sees the queens and the slowlings. The Baneling Nest is about to finish for Symbol. Will it be enough in time?
Yep, it's that round of initial Banelings that are the biggest threat here for Nestea. If he's able to get good connections on that, he's going to be in a great spot. Here come the Banelings. He's got to go. It's now or never for him. In come the Banelings. One taken out. Second one taken out as well. Third one detonates on nothing. And the fourth one going right for the mineral line. Symbol pulls off very, very rapidly here. That Baneling's still a threat, but he can take it out. The Banelings do essentially nothing here.
Nestea's not, he's building 5 drones. He didn't build anything for a very, very long time there. A lot of drones do go down, but I don't think Nestea did enough with this.
He's done it again.
I don't think there's 2 spines.
He's done it again. Symbol's held the same damn thing again. He's out of there now. There's really not a lot he can do with those lings. The threat of the Banelings is too much. He didn't take the Baneling Nest down. He didn't kill the hatchery. This is wonderful for Symbol. What an excellent hold.
Yeah, he does manage to hold now. 18 drones for Nestea, 13 for Symbol, but he does, of course, have that hatch, that extra set of queen, or that extra queen, so he's able to get the extra set of lava injects down, and with a secondary spine crawl, that's pretty much fortified now, and Nestea does have speed advantage here, so he will still be able to control the flow of the game, but Nestea does have a little bit of a lead at the moment. He does have the drone lead, but the thing is, though, that this lead will start to dissolve the longer this game goes on, because, of course, the production for Symbol is a lot higher.
It is indeed, and great decision-making from Symbol. Unbelievable defense in micro, honestly. You could tell Nestea was microing really hard there as well. As you said, he didn't make units, and that almost dissolved some of the edge that he got from that. It's such a great hold. My God, this guy is great.
And, let's have a look at the drone count now. 24 for Nestea, 23 for Symbol, and he is about to, continue to overtake. He is building overloads. He's now waiting, actually, to decide whether to build drones or lings. He wants to know, is Nestea building lings or is he building drones? Is he going to continue or is he not? And he decides to build 3 drones, but still leaves a lot of lava idle at the moment, and I think that's a great decision. Now, what will he choose to do next? He continues to drone. Likewise, Nestea does the same. So far, equal pecking game. 30 drones for Nestea, 26 for Symbol. Now Nestea has his own natural up and ready.
Indeed he does, but yes, as you said, and the lead is about to come into Symbol's favor since he's just finished off of that round of drones there, and now at least the queen count is equal for both. Some interesting play from both sides at the moment. Symbol certainly behind in terms of his supply. Lots of lava available for Symbol though, and he's got a good amount of cash as well to start spending that. Drives the Overlord away as well, and expect for the next few minutes we're going to see some fairly passive play. Neither of these guys can attack on this level of tech, which is why they're both going for lair.
And they will be looking to probably just go for that muleless play once again here. It is really coming back into fashion. Nestea does have a gas lead here. We see 260 gas compared to 130, and he's also taken the gases in his main and natural a little bit faster than Symbol here, so he will have the income also a little bit higher of gas too. But Symbol with 2 lings inside the main base of Nestea, is he gonna get a scout? He does get it in there, and he does see the Ro4 and Evolution Chamber and Lair, which actually verifies that it's not muleless play. It's just gonna be Roach play from Nestea.
Oh, that's wonderful information for Symbol to get a hold of. But meanwhile, droning from both sides at the moment. Nestea's going to get a slight lead in that regard as well. And what does Symbol decide to do from this stage? He is mining gas from all 4 extractors. There's the Spire coming down as we expected. Now, I have to wonder what we see from Nestea to follow that up, because surely, having had his Ro4 scouted, he must expect the possibility of a Spire.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. There's a lot of options available, so he can go Infestation Pit, he can go for a Roach Ling Bust, he can not be on Lair. So what we're going to see from Nestea is an Overseer be made to go and find out, and he will see the Spy immediately.
Yep, and going Roach Infestor as the counter to that. Nothing wrong with that. Changeling dropped down as well, just to make sure. And he gets all of the information he could possibly need. There's the Spire picked up. So the Infestation Pit, the right answer. An interesting mirror of what we saw from the previous game, where Nestea went Muta and Symbol went Roach Infestor.
And what Nestea's going to really rely on is getting the Fungal Growth out nice and early, and then just locking them down and using Queens to pick them off. He's actually constructing 2 extra Queens for that reason, that defensive purpose here. And he is going to... Oh, no, he's not. He's not going to be able to deny this third base from Symbol, which is, of course, awesome news for Symbol if he is able to keep it down, lock this third base away from Nestea, and get mining from the gas if he's going to stay on Mutalist play.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very, very careful with the Mutalist play, though, as well, because Nestea doesn't miss Fungals. And he's just going to go straight for it. He's going +1 flyer attack. This is not a little bit of harassment. He's dedicating to this pretty hard. Nestea already suspects what's going on. Spore Crawler's coming down. Pathogen Glands going to be done by the time that these Mutalists actually get into play. But he doesn't have any Infestors yet.
Nestea's playing exactly like Stefano does in this situation, just building nothing but Queens here. And Queens are actually extraordinarily good against Mutalists if they're locked down with Infestors and Fungal Growth, and especially because they do take effect from the +1 range upgrade. So
yes,
we're actually seeing the creep spread start to spread from Nestea, whether he'll spread aggressively towards his opponent and just go for an attack with Roach, Queen, Infestor, or whether he'll take a third base. But the way he's creep spreading here, he's actually going to take an assault from this position.
Interesting, isn't it, really? And this is not what I call your standard ZvZ series. And a nice little pickup there by Symbol. Maneuvers around away from his opponent. Doesn't want to get too close to those Queens. Nice flanking maneuver. Also bringing Lings in as well. So looking to try and gut the natural here. He can certainly do some damage. Going right for it. The Fungal lands a nice Fungal there by Nestea. And another one as well to follow up on those Lings. The Mutas move in. Take quite a lot of fire from the Spore Crawlers. Baneling detonation. A good hit right there on the drone count of Nestea, and a nice little attack, not as good as it could have been though. Nestea defends that really well.
And here's this push from Nestea. If he manages to break this down, this is it. This is all in, basically. If he doesn't succeed with this, Nestea will drop 0-2. Spinecrawler's defensively moving to the natural, but Nestea is already there.
He's all over him right now. Really nice attack here from Nestea. Let's see if he can get the follow-up. We've got a big run by Symbol. Actually may go for a base trade once again, knowing that he can't fight this full on at the moment. Another set of units going from Nestea. That army's pretty much unstoppable at this stage. And honestly, at a base trade, Nestea's going to have that.
Well, I don't know, because Symbol's going to beat down everything. There's actually nothing to stop, or in production to stop Symbol beating Nestea's base down. But yeah, at the same time, this is incredibly close because Nestea's army is unstoppable. It actually is unstoppable.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, there's also enough Queens and Infestors on the map to render those Mutalisks useless. If it comes down to a straight-up fight, then it's something that Nestea will lose. Looking to try and take the Spore Crawler out here, and it does go down, loses yet another Mutalisk in the process. Trying to focus that Infestor down as well. Anti-air-wise, not an awful lot left for Nestea here. Now he's pushing onto the third, and there's a wall of Spine Crawlers to make this very, very difficult. A lot of Infested Terrans coming in to try and beat that down, which they will very effectively.
Nestea needs to transfuse these roaches, and he is transfusing as well. This is brilliant play by Nestea, and as soon as that Spinecrawler wall goes down, so will that base, and it looks like Symbol's bringing back the Mutalist to maybe try and help him defend, but it's not possible, and Nestea breaks the line of defense.
Yeah, there's too many Queens in my opinion. There's not a lot of energy left on the Infestors at least, so that's not too much of a threat, but Muta count is only at 8. I mean, he could take the Queens out, and if he did, and he was able to kill the Infestors as well, and I think that's what he's thinking right now. He's producing nothing but Mutalists. Take out the anti-air units, and then you can just have free reign, assuming you can stop the Roaches in time. Looks to try and go straight in for that Queen. It draws him out of position. Nice move there by Nestea. The thing is, with the Transfusers, those Queens ain't going to die.
Yeah, and he actually doesn't have enough energy for a Fungal Growth to actually lock these down. So it's very tense right now. Symbol is going to try and move his drones out and actually bring them into fight here. Is he going to have enough? I don't think he does.
Another Transfuse comes down, and he really doesn't want to be anywhere near those Infested Terrans. One Mutalist torn out of the sky in the process. Only one Queen left. That's sniped off now as well. The Infestors are still a threat once they get the energy, but he's not dead yet.
He doesn't have Borrow, so he can't hide the Infestors, and if they get targeted down, there's actually no anti-air left. It's pure these 4 Infested Terrans, which are obviously going to die momentarily.
Oh my god.
And he's just going to try and go for a base trade.
Oh my god.
He's trying to kill off everything in fast enough.
Oh, he needs to take that Infestor out, and what is there left? There's that Queen, and that's taken out, and there's no anti-air. None. 0 anti-air, except those 2 Infested Terrans. This is a bizarre-based trade now. Nestea actually has no way of killing these Mutalisks.
No, all Nestea wants to do is try to kill off the remaining structures, and if he can do that, that's great. But he won't kill them off in time.
No, there's too
Mutalisk
many.
will survive. Mutalisk will win the game for Symbol, who will take a lead 2-0 against Nestea here.
What the hell is this series, man? What is going on? You don't even know either. I don't blame you. Good lord. Nestea.
This is crazy.
He's going down, man. He is going down.
He's got no options. He's got 2 drones, but they're not doing anything. They're mining from his main base, and he's basically saying, all right, well, maybe I can hold on to this game if these Mutalisks try to engage the support core. Maybe he doesn't have enough. But Symbol doesn't care. He's just going to go for it anyway. And he does have enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, he does. There's no way of stopping this. There's none. There are now too many Mutalisks, and what I thought was essentially an invincible force against this is not. There's the GG. Oh, my. 2-0. 2-0 for Symbol in a bizarre base trade scenario there. But once again, excellent decision-making on display by the up-and-comer.
Yeah, it was a great game. Unfortunately, Nestea used every single bit of his energy from the Fungals, from the Infestors,
exactly.
on breaking down the Spinecrawler line to kill the hatchery at the bottom. And then he had nothing left to actually deal with the Mutalisks, which came in and cleared through. And Symbol gets a historic 2-0 lead against Nestea.
And that was it, isn't it? When you look at that army, when you just look at the composition and you look at that situation before the engagement started, it's like, Nestea's got this. He's got the Infestors, he's got a ton of energy, but the Infestor's absolutely useless without the ability to fungal. Even one fungal would have made the difference there, would have torn through that crop of Mutalisks. Because no one really knows what to call a group of Mutalisks. Flock, nobody likes that. A murder of Mutalisks, we're just going to call it a crop. And Symbol is the Mutalisk farmer. And that is incredible play by Symbol. And why? How? I don't get it. He holds what shouldn't be possible to hold initially. This really early Extractor Ling-Baneling attack from Nestea. He holds that just like he did against Shine in the Grand Finals. And he makes the right decision every time. Every time.
Yeah, and, you know, Symbol's been a struggling GSL player. He qualified once for Code A late last year, and he lost versus, I think it was Genius, sorry, in the first round.
Yes, he did.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, go against a GSL finalist, why don't you in the first round of Code A? And from there on out, he dropped down again and had to work through Code B back into Group Code A, and now is currently sitting in Code A, round of 32, with a great win, might add in there, against SC, a fantastic former Code S Terran player, and now is on the verge of beating Nestea in a semi-final to go into a grand final of the biggest tournament of his life in his StarCraft career, be it he was just a, you know, B team in Brood War. He's never done anything spectacular before, and now he's on the edge of going to a grand final up against MMA, who's there waiting for him. You know, dreams are about to be made for Symbol, but will Nestea be the one to break that down or not?
That's what happens, man. That's what happens when he gets stuck in Code B for so long. You're essentially forged in the fires of Mount Doom, and the only way he can be unmade is in the fires that created him in the first place. And a high-level foreign tournament like this, that is not that fire. And Nestea now has a serious mountain to climb. 2 games down in a ZvZ. Symbol could just all in the next 2 games if he likes. He can roll the dice twice. The odds are in his favor if he wants to. But honestly, the way that he's playing, play straight up. He can do it.
Yep, we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. So, Terminus SC, very, very big map is the map choice for the next game here. 1 map away. Symbol basically has 2 cushions to fall on. He can be like, all right, 6 pool. You know, he probably won't, but he can be like 6 pool for 2 games, and it doesn't matter because he's still got 1 final game. So looks like we're just getting ready to load into the next game here. And, well, it's going to be an exciting one. Will Symbol be at a 3-0? He 3-0 Marine King Prime. If he 3-0s Nestea, that is crazy.
Wonderkid, man. That's what he is, Wonderkid. Can he pull it off, though? That's the question. Countdown has now begun. Let's see if that can happen right here. This would be a historic victory for Symbol. It would be a crushing victory for Nestea. And it would also result in quite the final. One way or the other, it's going to be quite the final. Will it be Legend versus Legend, or will it be up-and-comer versus Legend, as we're seeing right now? And can Symbol pull off the 3-0? Let's find out, because here we go. Oh my. It's LG. I am Nestea. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg. to the west of this particular map, which is, of course, Terminus versus his opponent. It's the one and only TSL Symbol. Currently leading 2 games. Yes, that's 2 games in this best of 5 series. He is in the purple trunks, playing Zerg to the south.
And there's a lot of people in the crowd as well in Paris, probably cheering for Symbol. I mean, they probably started off in ST, but probably changed their mind, ready for the underdog story here. And, well, this is one of the biggest maps there is. This third base is does have destructible debris on it, and also, oh my god, how many versions are there of this map? Destructible debris towards the third base and on the third base here. This most likely, once again, will play towards Muleless play once again here, but not necessarily. And especially, I don't think we're going to be seeing any early aggression. Of course, Terminus is one of the biggest maps there is, so Hatch first probably coming out from both of these guys.
Yep. Rotational symmetry actually in favor of Symbol on this one, simply because of the positions here. You'll note that Nestea has to expand it towards Symbol, which does mean that Mutalist play is way, way more viable for Symbol than it would be for his opponent. It is an interesting map, isn't it? This version is intriguing. I've never seen this one before with debris on both. Does that really affect the ZvZ matchup all that much?
It'll just alter strategies. It won't really change anything, to be honest. It'll just mean that they'll probably go 2-base layer because they don't want to break down the destructible debris, don't want to waste units rather than drones. So, and they can always defend with just spine crawlers on the natural, and you're not really going to see anybody break down the back rocks to come to your natural. So, most likely 2-base layer play, but still anything can happen within this series. I mean, there's so many mind games going on between these two players. What they are thinking, their opponent is thinking. And we actually see Nestea go Extractor before spawning pool here, basically saying that he doesn't give a crap about any early aggression and wants to get that speed and not have a disadvantage going into the speed set of the game.
Yes, indeed. The funny thing about this matchup is when it's underdog versus pretty much the most famous Zerg player in the world, you run into a situation where you don't know what the underdog's going to do versus the fact that you do have a frame of reference for the really famous player. Like, you can watch hundreds of games from Nestea and you can get a real feel for his Zerg versus Zerg, whereas Nestea hasn't necessarily had that kind of opportunity against Symbol, even in this tournament.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I'm interested to see, though, but is Symbol going to go Mutalist play? I mean, we've seen kind of game number 1, we saw Nestea go Mutalist. Game number 2, we saw Symbol go Mutalist. They kind of changed strategies, but Symbol was the one that came out with the victory in both of the games here. Symbol is staying with 2 in gas, though, which means he may opt to go for a defensive Bailey Nest here. Even though he's seen his opponent's gone hatchery first, there's still the aggressive option. It's just a bit later on here, so he might play a bit more defensive with that.
But what does Nestea do? I mean, he's played against his opponent twice already, played straight up, tried Roach Infester, it fails, tried Mutalisk, it fails. How does he play this game? I suppose he's just going to play straight up macro and then hope to overwhelm his opponent, but Symbol is tricksy, and he could pull off some crazy stuff here.
No Bailey Nest going down for either player with this excess gas. I wonder if they're just going to hit layer really fast here. Okay, there's the Bailey Nest coming down for Symbol instead. So Nestea, on the other hand, has not done that. He has a lot of money in the bank. There's Lings actually from Symbol managed to get in there, but will get surrounded by Nestea or kind of cut into the corner here. It's good little scouting information though by Symbol, who sees the gas count. He sees that there's no Bailey Nest down at all. And there's the Roach one coming down instead from Nestea, but it was scouted immediately.
Nice turn back there by Symbol, like that an awful lot. Nestea perhaps trying to hide that, it was denied. Or, of course, it could be fake.
Could be, but probably not. The Bailey Nest though, from Symbol, I wonder if he'll cancel it. You don't need a Bailey Nest if you're going up against Roach Warren play, but we'll see.
It's intriguing.
He's gonna keep it alive, but
well, I mean, I guess it doesn't make that much of a difference, does it? He's building 2 defensive Banelings anyway. It's tricky to know what's going on in the minds of these two. There's some crazy thoughts coming on one way or the other, possibly incomprehensible to the mortal mind, as we are well aware that Nestea is a lesser deity. So I couldn't tell you at this stage. There are a lot of roaches coming out from Nestea, and the problem is Symbol doesn't really have anything to deal with that. That said, they are slow roaches, and Symbol is already building a roach warren. By the time that Nestea's roaches get there, he could have his own. It's a possibility.
Yeah, it's going to be like this 10 roach push. I'm wondering if Nestea will build drones or lings behind it here. And he's going to build lings. Okay, so Nestea's just going to go for it here. He's going to say, all right, screw you. You're 2-0 up. I'm going to kill you this game really, really damn fast. And, well, let's see if this is going to work. 2 spine crawlers are down. Ro4 in about to be made, but 11 drones.
Oh, my God.
11, that's so big. A 3rd spine crawler down. As long as he can start some form of roach production, he sees the roaches of Nestea coming now. He needs to throw down additional spines on top of that single one he's done. He needs to build a bunch of units, otherwise he will just die straight out to this.
Well, the spines are going to get up in time. This is the problem with slow roaches. They're pretty damn slow, Apollo. It's a fact, and you can't dispute it. That's science, God damn it. And Symbol now looking to wall off here, and we have an errant Caldor. This is not the time.
Yeah, this is not the time indeed. And behind that, we actually see an evolution chamber come down from Symbol, trying to wall himself in here. Caldor leaves the game as good sportsmanship. Spine crawlers, though, are coming in. Drones as well. Link's been pulled off. As long as he holds on against this, he'll be fine.
Can he do it? Can he do it? Let's find out. 1 spine crawler now up. He brings 2 more from the side here. Needs to get those up as quickly as possible, and now they pop, and this starts to get unpleasant here for Nestea. There's a lot of firepower. Clutch transfuse right there by Symbol. More links, and he defends. He holds.
And Nestea with 22 drones behind this, he's not stopping. He's going to continue with this, but every single roach that dies is the brunt of his army just in terrible shape here. And he's going to continue through.
Morphing Banelings, really smart move, knowing that the follow-up is likely to be a lot of links to back up this small number of roaches, holding that queen as well, defending so very well. Here comes the engagement. Symbol with the excellent surround. Nestea continuing to try and keep this going, but he's losing roach after roach. The majority of his firepower is going down here. We've got the Banelings now moving in, and Nestea needs to target them down, but they get past. Unbelievably, only manages to target down 1, and now tries to break off 1 ling at a time to stop it. And excellent micro here from Symbol. Holy hell! Keeps 3 Banelings alive.
And that's kind of that done, really. I mean, nobody's going to try and do anything more from here on out. Symbol may kind of bounce away with a counterattack. Spine crawlers, I don't know. It's a big, big mistake there. Unless it's kind of with his army, I don't know. Unless he's trying to use them offensively, but that's going to take longer than the roaches and queens would do normally. But
he's got a plan.
He's going to move with them.
Yeah, he's got a plan on this one, man.
That's for sure.
This ain't no mistake. He knows what he's doing with this. If he actually gets those planted, that would be ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen that actually happen in a game of this level. Nice surround there by Nestea, and he knows that these spine crawlers are coming, but he can't really stop them. If he goes for them, then the roaches are just going to pick it off nice and easily, and that's still quite a lot of roaches coming in here from Symbol. Follow-up is in the form of links. He's going to return the favor to Nestea, who is building spine crawlers of his own.
And this won't work, though. +1 is sooner finished. 2 spine crawlers there. Roaches of his own, so those spine crawlers might as well head home, to be honest, because they're not going to do anything here. He's going to try and go for a bust anyway. There's the Baneling morph. As long as Nestea spreads out and continues to build units, not drones, he theoretically should be fine, especially because in 15 seconds, his roaches get upgraded.
Yeah, exactly. And he sees 1 Baneling morph, considering the position of the Overlord, doesn't see the rest of it. Now he knows as to how many Banelings there are ready for this. Symbol is throwing it. Oh my God, that's a huge number of Banelings.
He's basically looking at Nestea, has all his roaches together. He can hit with Banelings and splash damage to do so much damage where these roaches can overrun. But that's not the case here, and I think that we can, well, I know that Symbol knows it's not going to work. He's building 12 drones behind it.
Yeah, but how much damage can he do with this, though? Even if this doesn't work, with the amount of drones he's building behind it, he has a severe economic advantage. He can trade in effectively here. And here go the Banelings, blocked off really nicely there by Nestea. Busts his way through the roach wall right there. That was a lot of Banelings spent for a hell of a lot of nothing.
Yeah, but there are 52 drones for 31 for Nestea, so even though he loses this, he is so far behind in terms of drones. But now the counterattack happens again. Nestea's opportunity to do damage. And roach speed is about to bust through. So he's actually going to be able to race across there, maybe even before the spine crawls finish, if roach speed finishes right now as well. And Nestea is still droning behind this, so it's not like a full commitment, but he's looking to.
Yeah, and these spines are not going to be up in time by the time this actually gets in there. The defense is just, there isn't one. Symbol has no defense against this right now. Needs to build units. Nestea's counterattack comes in, and perhaps a little bit impetuous. He needs to hold it with drones to let the spine crawlers actually get up. Nestea knows that that is a real risk, and he blasts his way past the spine crawlers. Really smart maneuvering here by Nestea, going for the main base, and, well, can Symbol hold long enough? And GG, Symbol is out of it, and Nestea right back in the series with an electrifying counterattack.
Yeah, that was so bad from Symbol to try that. I don't understand what he was trying to do. Spine crawlers don't do anything there, and he just kind of threw the game away a little bit.
He kind of did.
He was in such an advantageous position. He stayed off layer, so he had in his back of his mind that I'm going to kill Nestea with this counterattack no matter what. And as soon as he saw that this is going to work, he's like, yeah, but I said no matter what. And it just didn't work because he's too far behind. Even though he built drones and had a better income, he threw everything away and did absolutely nothing to Nestea's front door.
Yeah, it turns out bailing busting a lot of roaches doesn't really work. And also, don't take it away from Nestea, that defense was great. He put his roaches in exactly the right place to absorb the maximum amount of damage, and his counterattack just wipes Symbol off the map there. And this is the turnaround right now. Nestea is angry, and he is going for it. But yeah, Symbol gets too impetuous. Bit of a rookie mistake there, honestly. He's like, oh, I can take the 3-0. No, you can't. But he's still a map ahead. Unfortunately, Diapollo has lost his connection to Skype. Looks like it's not only Caldor that's having issues here. Well, well, well. Alright, well, we'll try and get him back as quickly as possible, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Sorry for the brief interlude. We're having to sort out some issues as you saw Caldor drop from the game there. We think it is possible that his connection was attacked under the sea by some kind of large Leviathan. We don't know how that happened, but it did. So it's my pleasure to bring you TSL Symbol. He is in the red trunks. He is playing Zerg to the east of this particular map, which is, of course, the Metropolis versus his opponent. It is LG I am Nestea in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the south.
And like we said, Symbol has a cushion. You know, despite that little mistake in the last game, he still is ahead. Still 2-1, still one map away from winning. They have spawned close by air here on Metropolis, so they will have a lot of scanning information really early on what they're doing here. So if anybody tries anything funky here, it's of course going to be their mistake, as they're going to get picked up on it nice and easy. This map, once again, does favor a more macro hatch first style of play. Distances between bases are short, but not that short. And that looks like what both these players are doing.
Indeed. Let's see Symbol and whether or not he'll be able to keep his cool. Because, well, he didn't. He tried something a bit silly against Nestea. You don't try silly things against Nestea. Yes, creativity, great. Having a bit of a curveball, great. That was just silly. You know, you commented on it and it was right. It's like, we're going to try and baneling bust a bunch of roaches. We're going to bring some spine crawlers to watch the train wreck in progress. And it was sad because Symbol had such a lead. He really, really did.
He could have just taken a third base or gone lair really fast,
yeah.
But he chose to take the aggressive option, which normally isn't the best option to take. Nestea easily anticipated it coming and was already ready to accept what was coming. But we do have a spawning pool, then extractor. This is a build that's anybody's followed my recent Learn to Play series. Actually, we studied this, and this is Nurchio's style of play here, compared to over to Nestea, who's actually gone hatchery first here. So, like in the lesson, hatchery first will give you the better economy, but that's what you have the speed for, to actually topple that advantage. And as long as you just get a drone kill or two, the advantage is basically nullified and you get away with map control, and you also are able to control the flow of the game by having speed faster here.
Yes, indeed you are. And a wonderful plug there, Apollo. Very subtle, very nicely delivered.
Yeah, it's true though.
It is, without question. That's the best way to hide advertising in a very informative little slogan. This message brought to you by Coca-Cola Company. And TSL Symbol gets his scout there and also spots the hatchery coming up, so he knows what he's up against here. There's the expansion here from Symbol, pretty much as late as it can really get, simply because you've gone extractor and pool before, and now just going to move across the map, see what it can do, which is really not an awful lot. Might be able to just nibble away here and there, maybe get a drone kill or two, but not too much.
Yeah, you're going to actually have the first 4v4 fight, which is 4 links versus 4, and it's going to come down to control, really. Who has the better control here? So let's see how this is going to go down. It usually does come down to that very thing.
Indeed. Let's find out. All right, Lings are already out, and that's a good start here. Very good start for Nestea, actually, doing a lot of damage before the other two Lings come in. So this is kind of the time where Symbol needs to say, right, it's time to leave. That he already mucked that one up. Nestea was completely ready for that, and he'll be driven away. And that gives a nice edge here to Nestea in terms of his economy. The question is, what does Symbol follow up on if he wants to continue to capitalize on that earlier spawning pool? Well, he gets the faster speed, but is that really going to help him here?
Well, we'll find out now. His speed's 40 seconds away. Does he add on any more lings here to try to capitalize on it? Does he try and run by? But Nestea has already said, I'm not doing anything crazy this game. I've got a spine crawler coming down. Ro4 really early.
Oh, yeah.
So he's actually taken the very much so passive route here. And we do see 6 more lings coming from Symbol. And also we have the Baneling Nest down too. So he could just say, all right, that's it. I'm only going to build, you know, up to 10 lings, which is what he has 12 now in the making. But if it continues past this mark, he's actually just going to walk straight into a wall, as Nestea is very much so defensive and is able to defend against any form of aggression, and it is only going to be that set of lings. So all that he's looking to achieve here is just drone kills, potentially a queen.
Oh yes, and will this be another win for Nestea? Will it swing back in his favor? I would be kind of disappointed if it wasn't, honestly, because it's been pretty damn epic. And that's brazen. Morphing Banelings directly underneath that Overlord, just showing them there to Nestea. The problem is, once the roaches come out, those Banelings are going to be very easily nullified. Here comes the run by, looks for the surround on the Queen. Can he get it? And bringing the drones in as well to help out here. Not a huge amount of damage being done one way or the other to that drone line. Banelings now moving it, doesn't get a target fire there, slips those Banelings in there. One goes off, second one goes off and does pretty significant damage to that drone line. Oh, wow. That was absolutely massive, and that gives a nice drone lead there to Symbol.
All right, well, what I just said before was that all his intention there was with those 12 lings was to get a couple of drone kills, potentially a queen. He got 12, 13 drone kills there. That was the investment of a lifetime. That's a bank that I want to invest my money into because the return was sick. But now he has to defend against, of course, the follow-up counterattack here, which is not that heavy. It's only 7, 8 roaches. So as long as he just builds lings, and with the spine crawlers he has, he should be okay.
Certainly should be, and you can see it coming a mile away. He's got Overlords positioned all over the place, so he's got the most warning he could possibly need. A couple of lings are going to be ripped to shreds if they get anywhere near that, and I have to wonder if Nestea just turns around. He does. It's like, this is pointless. If I throw this away, I become vulnerable to a massive counterattack, and I just lose right now.
And a 4th spine crawler was cancelled there by Symbol, seeing the return. But that damage, even though he didn't do anything, he did it indirectly and forced a lot of lings and spine crawlers to be made. So
true.
He did make the most out of it there. But Symbol's completely fine with that. He's currently at 31 drones compared to 36, but is just about to pop 7 more, so will take the lead briefly. But he does have a layer coming down compared to Nestea, who's thrown down an incredibly fast 3rd base, which has gone unscouted so far by Symbol.
Yeah, there's a bunch of lings moving across the map. He could actually spot them there. The roaches are put in a good position here, but of course some lings will make their way through there, assuming he tries, which he does not. He is a little bit cautious here. Will he go for the run by there? And he gets a few. That splitting off was very, very nice, but Nestea was completely ready for that. So that shut down, and once again, that base goes completely unscouted. But tech advantage firmly in favor of Symbol, mining a hell of a lot of gas from all sides.
He's reading the game, though, really badly, really badly. He didn't see the 3rd base, and he saw so many roaches and lings that he thought this is a big, big attack coming before he went layer. And he throws down 3, 4 additional spines. He's completely misread the game now, and he's about to move with lings to kill Nestea's queen. And if he also figures out why the fuck is there a queen there, he's going to see the hat-trick too, and this is so big.
It is absolutely huge. The question is, what does Symbol do from this position? It immediately starts to make a hell of a lot of lings and cancels all of those spine crawlers. That's perhaps the most important thing. Now, he's got a great position. This Spire, will it go unscouted? Nestea's going in the wrong direction. He doesn't see it.
But he knows. No, he basically knows anyway. He knows his opponent's on 2 base. At 10 minutes in the game, that's a Spire, basically. And especially the way that Symbol's being played, it's not an infestation pit, it's a Spire. So Nestea already knows what he's playing up against, and I wouldn't be surprised if he starts making those additional queens already. He is building a new queen, but not any additional ones yet. But this is absolutely going dream scenario so far for Nestea.
Yeah, it's certainly going totally fine for him at the moment, but he's not responding yet to the threat of these Mutalisks. The Spire's almost out. Wow, Symbol's actually got enough for pretty much 10 of these, or maybe 9 plus 1. Lings now move in, and they see the 3rd go up there. And there we see a couple of Spore Crawlers coming down. He's not building additional queens. That worries me. That really does.
Yeah, and there's 10 Mutalisks on the way, though. 3 Spore Crawlers are coming, which should be enough to ward this back. A Hydroden coming down as well. Well, yeah, it's going to be pretty damageful, but Mutalisks at this early stages don't really do that much damage, especially with the queen there too, but like you said, there's only 1, which means there's a lot of vulnerable areas, such as the Overlords above the natural.
Very true. Symbol now pushing forward, looking to try and solidify his defense on the third base. Here come the Mutalisks. Really exposed Queen right there. And plenty of damage being dealt to it. Down goes the Queen. Nestea tries to hold it for as long as possible. He knew it was going to die, but nice micro here from Symbol, just picking Mutalisks out of the group to try and stop them from dying so quickly. This drone line getting absolutely decimated. Another Queen comes up, will immediately die. He can pull out before these Spore Crawlers come in. This is already looking really nice, and Symbol adding on more Mutalisks. Another Queen falls.
Oh, this is so good for Symbol now, and there's no creep connected between the bases, so the Queens take forever to actually arrive here.
Yeah, they really do, and a good micro once again from Symbol, making sure that his weakened Mutalisks don't get target fired down. I'm surprised that he actually went in there, taking a lot of extra damage in the process. I feel he could have just left that and gone straight for the natural there, but he didn't. And he's still done significant damage, but this is what he's going to go up against. 12 Hydralisks coming in now. But you know what I like? The Baneling Nest Centrifugal Hooks upgrade is coming in. If we do get the Hydra transition, Banelings can absolutely gut that.
Yeah, they really can, and he's already morphing Banelings here. I wonder if we are going to see a Nidus Worm come down, because these Hydras are great at defending, but they can't do anything aggressive unless the Nidus Worm goes down.
It's a long jog on this map too.
Yeah, it's really long. Nestea, though, still with 65 drones despite taking losses. 5 more buildings, so he's up to 70 drones here. And it's not even like the Mutalisk player here, Symbol, has taken an advantage in terms of economy or control or anything here. He is lowering everything aside from army supply, which we're about to see. ST splits okay, but there's not enough.
No, there isn't. Oh my! The Hydras are down, and the Mutalisks and Lings now have free reign. They can just go and smash that third base or go straight for the natural, which is what he's doing now. Roach is coming in, and this is the time when the pressure has to come in. Symbol is adding a Ro4. He's actually droning behind this. He doesn't want to make another impetuous mistake, and I rate that decision. That is some nice decision-making right there. Looks to go for the Queen once again and pick it off. The Muta count is high enough to absolutely decimate this main base.
And especially because Hydras are popping from every base in sets of 2 here.
There's the
and
GG!
doesn't have enough.
It's done! It's done! Symbol is through. 3-1 against Nestea. Well, I was not expecting that, but my god am I happy it happened.
That was nuts. And Nestea was about to spawn 6 Hydras, but what does it matter? There's 2 on 2 on the main, 2 on the natural, 2 on the third. There's no creep connected anywhere. They're never going to get back to defend it, and I can't believe it when Symbol actually manages to beat Nestea 3-1. And a remarkable victory, and he's moving to the finals.
That's sensational, ladies and gentlemen. Sensational. Nestea is not happy. He has no idea how he just got outplayed. This is his favorite matchup. He doesn't lose in this matchup. Losing to Symbol so convincingly. Well. Do we see the rise of another fantastic Zerg player? Yes, we do, from Korea. Symbol has been my favorite throughout this entire tournament, and he has just proven that. We said he could go to the finals.
Stone white in the camera right now, just staring at his screen. He does still have another match to play today,
oh, yeah,
of course, and we'll be fighting for that 3rd and 4th place game against Alive later on, where the difference of money, I mean, they're guaranteed, everybody that went to France was guaranteed $2,500, but then there is a step up to 3rd place, which is that $3,750 mark. And of course he will still be fighting for that and has to collect his thoughts, but wow, Symbol just netted $6,000 with a potential for 12.5k if he was to beat MMA.
Man, TSL in foreign tournaments at the moment, seriously. They have Pol and now they've got Symbol, and these guys are wrecking face. Symbol has been so good, and Symbol made a fan out of me in the first qualifier because he plays in a different way to what the Zerg plays. He uses everything that the Zerg has to offer, and he played that matchup really well, and he defends everything. It's incredible how he does it. He holds things which should not be held.
Yeah, it's such a great pleasure to see this result, really. I mean, Symbol's been working so incredibly hard, and it's a great win, not for him, but for TSL as well. TSL have had players leaving left and right through 2011, but they remained the core within. You know, you had an amazing core, I mean, basically front line by Pult, and then everybody around him, and it's great to see them still together.
Yeah, and there's Symbol on stage right there, and we are going to flip on over to the stage audio for the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, you're currently watching the Ironsquid Grand Finals, brought to you by Aces Republic of Gamers, Astro Gaming, and Twitch.tv. We will see you shortly.
We are Back at the Ironsquid after the second semi-final. We just had Symbol with Nestea and Symbol managed to win 3-1 against Nestea, which is really impressive and really stunning. So I will actually do the interview. My name is Minzik Ko, known as Rice. I will actually do the interview in English and Korean. So I will ask him the question in English. He answers, I translate it, and then I go back and forth. So, oh wait, I have to turn off my stream. Okay, so first of all, I will ask him how it feels that he made it, like that he beat Nestea, one of the best ZvZ players in the world, and just his first impression about the whole tournament. 그냥 지금 재력이 형이 이기고 나서 지금 결승 올라갔잖아. 지금 파이널 올라왔는데 기분 어떤지 하고, 재력이 형 같은 선수는 ZvZ가 정말 유명하잖아. 옛날부터 잘 나가고 작년은 진 적도 별로 없고. 그 지금 그냥 또 기분 좀 말해줘요.
제가 스타1 게이머 생활까지 하면은 총 한 4, 5년에서 3, 4년 정도 했는데, 게이머 생활을 그러면서 사실 스타1 때는 온라인 예선도 잘 못 들었어요. 근데 스타2 와서 죽기 살기로 한번 열심히 해봤는데, 다시 죽기 살기로 열심히 했는데 차츰차츰 뭐랄까 이기는 방법을 알면서 이렇게 처음 결승에 왔는데, 정말 뭐라고 아직 표현은 잘 못하겠는데 우승하고 나서 더 좋을 것 같아요. 아직은 그냥 경기 중이니까 좋긴 한데 게임 생각하고 있어요 지금 아직은. 네.
So, Simmo's answer was that, I mean, he started to be a pro gamer in StarCraft 1, and like it was like almost 4 or 5 years ago he started to play, and actually back then it was really hard for him to even manage to make it through an online qualifier as a StarCraft Broad War player. But now in StarCraft 2, he's really happy that he had the chance to come here, to come to this venue, to come to Paris, and even now that he's in the grand final. So he's really, really happy about it. But till now, he just have the one goal is like to win the whole tournament, and after that he thinks like he's gonna realize what he managed to do. So the next question that I will ask is what his opinion is about MMA's matchup against Zerg. Obviously, he's one of the best Terrans against Zerg. So I will ask him how he thinks about that and how his chances are. 지금 다음 결승 가서 문성환 선수랑 만날 건데, 성환이는 사실 테라 Zerg전을 정말 좀 유명하잖아. 대부분 진 적 없는 것 같고, 그래서 또 지금 너 이길 자신 있는지, 그리고 그냥 사실 또 MKP도 이겼는데 그냥 또 테란전 너 매치업 같은 거 있으면 어떤 거 제일 잘하는 것 같아? 테전은 그런
자신 있는 종족전이요? 우선 제가 제일 자신 있는 종족전은 당연히 테란전이고요. 뭐 상대가 저는 누구라고 생각하면서 게임을 하지 않고 그냥 똑같은 게임하는 선수 대 선수들을 생각해서 그냥 다 똑같은 테란 선수라고 생각하고요. 지금 제가 제일 자신 있는 건 테란전이니까 만나도 뭐 자신감 있게 연습실에서 하던 대로 하면 충분히 승산 있다고 생각해요, 전.
So what he said is actually his best matchup is against Terrans, because if you followed him, I mean, Symbol made it all the way through the qualifier to the finals, and he beat like people like Poet or Marine King, and so his best matchup is against Terran, and he said like he doesn't care about the player who we're gonna face. It's more for him, like every Terran player is the same. So he thinks as long as he's doing good, like as long as he's playing similar to his practice games in the TSL house, he will have definitely chances to win against MMA. So the next question will be, what is like when his breakthrough came? I mean, I guess he's like, I mean, if you see him play lately against Marine King or against Symbol, against Nestea, you saw that he's really impressive. So my question would be, is like, if he always was that good and never had the chance actually to shine, or what pushed him back, like what held him back that he couldn't do that good? 지금 다음 문장은, 너 지금 사실 스타2는 올해부터 시작했잖아. 옛날부터 시작했는데 지금 처음으로 이름이 나왔잖아. 사실 사람들 알게 되고, 그리고 지금 이때까지 왔는데 너 그 전에도 갑자기 잘해진 거야? 또 실력이 갑자기 잘해진 거야? 아니면 그 전에 의미 없어서 그래서 빨리 떨어진 거 있는지, 아니면 그냥 지금 게임이 더 편하게 되는지. 그래서 잘 됐네. 왜 어떤 이유로 갑자기 잘하고 뭐 종훈이 리그 다 그런 거. 그냥 그 게임 언제부터 시작했는지 좀 알아요.
스타2요?
스타트.
일단 스타2는 작년 6월쯤에 다시 해보기로 마음 먹어서 그때부터 제대로 시작했고요. 뭐 제가 뭐랄까 쉬면서 많이 생각을 해봤어요. 제가 왜 못했을까 스타1 때. 근데 그런 걸 생각하면서 제가 좀 잘못했다고 생각하는 부분을 조금씩 고쳐나가면서 하루하루 생각하면서 하니까 단점이 조금씩 보완되면서 자신감이 붙더라고요. 그래서 그리고 대회 할 때 제가 예전에 긴장을 많이 했는데 왜 그런지 모르게 갑자기 긴장이 안 되더라고요. 최근에는
저기 사람 앞에서 하는 게
하나도 긴장 안 됐어요.
아, 그래요?
손도 안 떨리고 그냥 왜 그런지 모르겠는데 긴장이 안 돼요. 그래서 연습실에서 하던 대로 그대로 나오기 때문에 뭐 실력 부분은 제가 꾸준히 해왔기 때문에 그게 빛을 보는 거라 생각해요. 갑자기 잘해지거나 그런 건 아닌 거라 생각해요. 네.
So Symbol started. He started to play this game serious back in June last year, and he said like back then he actually tried. He trained a lot obviously, but he actually tried to think about his game and what his mistakes are, and tried to improve his gameplay and to make it perfect. So every day he was like thinking about the game and trying to improve his mistakes, what he could do better and stuff. And he thinks like that after that, like he's not really getting nervous on stage anymore. Like before that, when he had like on his GSA qualifier or something, he always got nervous. But right now, even in front of so many people, like in front of 2,500 people here at the Ironsquid, he doesn't get any nervous. So it's for him, he just does what he always did. Like he was always on that level. He doesn't think that he got any better all of a sudden. He just thinks that by spending time and trying to figure out his mistakes, he just reached that level which he is right now. Okay. Okay, that's gonna be the last question. I will ask him like if he has something to say to his fans, and I will ask him for his prediction, like what's his finals game against MMA gonna be, the score. 지금 끝 문장 하나 남았어요. 지금 MMA랑 결승까지 올라갈까 하는데 너 몇 대 몇으로 이길 것 같아? 그리고 팬들분한테 말하고 싶은 거.
뭐 스코어까지는 전 예상 안 하고 일단 스코어는 솔직히 못 맞추고요. 저는 제가 이길 것 같고 이긴다면 4대 2 정도로 이길 것 같고 뭐 여기 팬분들한테 제가 저의 팬이 있을지 모르겠지만 이렇게 5만 원이라는 관객료를 내고서 왔잖아요. 근데 그게 제 생각엔 정말 큰 돈이라 생각하는데 그 돈을 내고 오신 분들한테 제 경기를 보고 아, 잘 왔다 이런 생각이 들게끔 남은 경기 열심히 해서 좋은 경기력 보여드리겠습니다. 네, 앞으로 응원 많이 해주세요. Cheer up me.
Okay, that's gonna be the last answer. He says that if he thinks that he's very confident about that he's gonna win, and if he has to like guess a score, it's gonna be around 4-2, he would say. And about the people here in French, he's very thankful to the people who came here, because actually people who came here, they pay like around $50 to come here to watch all the 4 guys play. So he's really thankful, and he's not even sure if people came to see him. So all the community out there, I hope you guys follow him, cheer for him. Then he's definitely one of the upcoming stars. And yeah, that's it. And thanks.